But welcome back to the Bear Market Builders. It's been a bit. It's been a minute. I don't even know what episode we're on, so I'm just gonna say this is like chapter 2, episode 1.
Works
So
for me.
we're here with Fox. Is that it? Yeah? That's
How's
how
it
you.
going?
It's going good.
Yeah, yeah,
How about you?
yeah. Fox
Just
from
making
Harry
sure.
Potter.
Okay. Um, hope you're good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, doing well. Big day. Had some adventure claims, but doing well. Running the back end of stuff and making sure things are prepared and moving forward for the next step. But it's going really well today.
Happy to hear. I claimed mine. I got a trait. I showed it in chat, but we'll talk about adventures a little bit later. So do you want to give a little rundown on what time traveling chimps are, and a little
Oh
background on
yeah,
yourself?
certainly, certainly. Most people know me by Fox. My real name's Christopher. I'm fine sharing that. But I entered the NFT space December of 2020. I was like 2 days after Christmas. My buddy, the other co-founder, Dio, we worked together, and he was telling me about how he minted Stone Ape Crew and Baby 8 Social Club, and he made a decent profit from them. And so I was like, "You got to hook me up." And he's like, "There's going to be a new mint," and it was a couple days after Christmas, but it was for Tiki Chimps Club. We minted at point 0.7 Sol when Sol was $200. I put about 1,000 into it, and they climbed to 2 Sol after a day or two. And uh, Dio was like, "Hold, hold." He literally turned me into a hodler right at the start. So he said, "Hold," and then sure enough, 3 or 4 days go by, the floor price drops, and a couple more days after, they pretty much rug us. So we're left with NFTs that are valued at next to nothing. So at the time, I was like, you know what? I can do this better. Like, I can figure this out. And so Dio ended up talking with some of the other devs that were running the project, and they offered to make a deal with us. And he brought me on as a mod. And so I managed the chat and everything. And then from there, the big thing is I just started interacting. Like I started getting in the calls and saying, "Hey, this will work, this won't work," and we saw a lot of movement. I don't know if you remember them, Metaversal. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They were big back, yeah, a couple of years ago, but it looks like they've rugged ever since.
I don't recognize that name, but maybe if I saw, something from them, maybe it would spark a memory.
Yeah, they were a development team. They were working on their own metaverse and everything along those lines. The idea was you're going to be able to go into a metaverse to get into a DeLorean and zoom off to rescue your chimp, like in the metaverse. But they ended up wanting to take over 50% of our profit from Mint, and we were already a DJ Mint, so it didn't really leave us with much. Uh, oh, it looks like it says they're taking a break. Are we still live?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it must have been an ad. It must have been an ad. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
no
okay.
worries, no worries. I just want to
They
make
can watch
sure.
the full thing on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, I was like, well, do I stop talking? So, first time
Oh,
doing one of these.
yeah.
But no, they wanted over 50% of our profit, and we were already a DGen mint. And so we started partnering with Metadrago. They were really big in the space. They were at like 18, 20 Sol. And I was working with T3. He approached, we had one of our holders approach him, and he had a solution. He had a developer, he had an artist, he had everything. We were short on funds. So, me, Dio, and most people know Hodl Events. He's been in the server. He was one of the original three that helped co found Time Traveling Chimps. Uh, we all put up a set amount of money to get the art started. We did a reveal process, so we minted DeLorean. So at the time, we were like, we're gonna make this fun. So before all these reveal mints were hyped, like that's literally what we did. Is we did a time traveling reveal. So you got your DeLorean. The goal was you had to stake your DeLorean to earn plutonium to fuel your DeLorean to rescue your chimp. And so we ended up running into issues with their developer. We were able to get through the reveal process pretty smoothly. He also built us a staking, but that didn't work. It was a rocky start, I'll put it that way. So when I got into this space, For me, it was about gaining as much knowledge as I could, and then making sure I knew enough to be able to speak with a lot of these people to get things done. I do development work in the Web2 world, so like websites, HTML, CSS, that type of stuff is where my forte is. But for me, I was able to understand a lot of what the developers were communicating with, like how they were talking. And so it gave me a step up to be able to get things done and get it done effectively and efficiently. And so I ended up, when everything was said and done with our reveal, we minted in the DeLoreans in May. I believe May 12th was our mint date. We minted out on May 14th. We were a 0.88 mint. That did not go well. So we were told by BBJ Soul, you may see him on Twitter. He said, "Hey, I can get you called in Tire Robotics if you drop your price to 0.25." So we lowered ourselves to a 0.25 mint, and literally within an hour of doing that, we sold out. It was gone. And so we refunded anyone that minted at 0.88, and they got the difference. So they only had to mint at 0.25. And that's kind of where we were at. It took a long time. We actually dropped down to 0.09. So imagine sweeping 100 chimps for under a soul, and like what that's valued at now. That's like 200 soul. If you were with us at the start, like we've slowly added profit back, and we've got a lot of other things in the works. But for me, is consistency and not worrying about the floor and putting our head down allowed us to kind of climb to where we are now. It's taken a lot of time, but we've achieved everything we said we were going to in 1 year. So for us, it's phenomenal that we've been able to do that. But that's really kind of how we started. We started as a DGen mint with very few utility, but we had a vision, and we were set on making that vision work. And so we had another holder, EFX, introduce us to Carlos over at Jelly. It was esports at the time. I know it's not. It's now Jellyco. But we were introduced to Carlos, and Carlos helped me find developers. Kind of took us under his wing. But the reason for Carlos taking us under his wing was we have Stealth, who built Flexibility for us. And so Stealth built it, and it was a raid to earn service, and it got Carlos's attention. And then we joined Soul Suites with them and offered it to all of their Soul Suites clients. And in return, we got advisor calls. So I was able to get Carlos to give me some direction. He hooked us up with a team of developers, which has thus led us to our current developer, Thud. He's phenomenal. So we have two developers that I consider in-house. That would be Thud and Stealth. And then we partner with Syndicure, who is the one of the founders of Fractured Apes. So we partner with him for some development stuff as well. But yeah, that's just a little bit of a recap as where we started and where we came from and where we're at now. But there's so much within TTCC. I could spend 2 hours talking about all the little nuances of things and how we got there. But no, it's been a fun ride. I have to say that I've learned a lot, made a lot of friends, and learned a lot of stuff that you don't do, and made some enemies. So it happens in this space. But yeah, I think that covers it.
Bro, I loved what you just said right there about you do make enemies in the space, and sure it does suck, but it happens.
It does. It
And
does. I'm a direct
I
person, and that's why I think I've been able to get stuff done. Like even when our community was struggling, we were low on funds, and like I went to the developer and I stated facts, and I was like, this is not emotions. This is fact after fact, and he refunded us. So our first staking was refunded, which you don't see refunds happen in this space often. But I came to it with, hey, this is where it's at, and this isn't a reputation you want. Is it like is this what you want us to display, like from your name? Like this is a consistent thing from you? And he's like, no. And so he quickly realized his mistakes, refunded us, and allowed us to really get our staking going with Xen. And then we started building out our adventure platform, and that's been pretty much history.
Yeah. Oh man, that little voice crack right there. All good. I love that Kyle said why is Carter 14 and got a deeper voice than I do that, but it's okay. But yeah, I feel like I've made some enemies in the space, sadly. Um, I'm a person that really tries to like everyone, and I give everyone a chance. But a lot of people don't want to see me succeed because they don't want to see someone younger than them succeed. But hey, it's okay. So do you want to explain a little bit about what a chimp, if what holding an OG chimp does? Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
certainly. Yeah. So, holding an OG time traveling chimp actually gives you full access to the server. So time traveling chimps get uh, access to the server. They earn 5 Plutonium X, which is more than a lost chimp. They're only 2.5, so you're earning double of our lost chimps. You're able to enter raffles, so we'll run raffles, and you have to be an actual time traveling chimp holder to participate in. We're also running raffles on Monet with plutonium. So the biggest thing with the OG champs is they also have the specialized staking. So if you apply like one of the special traits to a lost champ, you don't get the staking bonus. You actually have to apply those special traits to an OG champ. That's where you get your bonuses. That's where you start getting your plutonium X earn, and that's what's going to allow you to participate in these raffles as well as a few other things that we have coming down the road. So I keep telling people I'm going to be rugging their plutonium X, and it's eventually going to happen. That's for sure. But we have a lot in the works as far as what it will give you. But we also do giveaways in the server and things like that. There's exclusive DAOs for some of those special traits. So there's really a lot that you can do with an OG champ. The biggest thing is there will soon be tiered adventures. So we've been talking about it. So this is some alpha for people that are in here listening. OG Chimps will give you access to what is known as a tiered adventure. So percentage traits or percentage for traits, NFTs, soul, and stuff like that we offer within the adventure platform. You'll start seeing tiered options on Adventure Day. So OG Chimps will be the only ones that get the option to go on that tiered adventure. We kind of call it premium adventure. So instead of a 12% chance at a trait, you're going to have a 25% chance at a trait. Instead of a 1% chance at an NFT, you'll have a 5% chance at an NFT. So again, those OG chimps are going to really provide a lot of value if you're looking to go on adventures and utilize that system. Just to give some people out here, like I can tell you right now, I've had 5 or 6 people tell me that they have made over 20 to 30 sold just on their traits alone, selling them. And so I just to set expectation, like the more you're able to go on these adventures, the more you can gain access to some of these traits. It'll really fund your bag to increase your holdings of OG chimps or get those traits that you really want, like those premium ones. So again, there's a lot of perks for that OG because lost chimps aren't going to get all that. Lost chimps are slowly dwindling down as well.
So aren't you able to I saw you talking about this in chat yesterday, I think. Can't
Mhm.
you go from like a lost chimp to a OG chimp? Like some of them?
You can. Yeah, so every lost chimp can turn into an OG chimp. The requirements for that was bugged, and I've had our developer working endlessly on the V2 of the adventure platform at the time, so I didn't actually get a chance to have him fix it, but it's now fixed. So in order to turn an OG chimp into, or sorry, a lost chimp into an OG chimp, the lost chimp has to go on 10 of our adventures. It has to have a new fur, a new background, a piece of clothing, an accessory, and then the fifth item, it can be any item. It can be a neck piece, it can be headwear, it can be eyewear. So out of those three. So once you complete all of those steps, you can go to our website, and time travel is what we call it. So you apply to become a time traveling chimp. So you go to there, it checks see that you've met the requirements. If you do, you press the button, it moves your lost chimp. It changes the name, moves the chimp into the OG collection, and that chimp then has some additional perks to it. So yeah, it is highly possible to move your lost chimp to an OG chimp. Just the benefits don't start until it's been moved. So for example, if you trade it out with a bunch of special traits, those traits aren't going to do anything for you until you move it into the OG collection.
Okay. You also talked about staking while talking about, um the OG chimps. So, what can you do with your here we go. Here, this is gonna be a struggle. Plutonium X, right?
Yes,
Let's
yes, yes, plutonium.
go.
Yeah, yeah. If you've seen Back to the Future, that's the substance that's needed for time travel to take place. But if you follow the storyline, the plutonium X changes into recycles like food and stuff like that. So again, just kind of remember that because you never know what may be coming. But yeah, plutonium X has a lot of value right now. One, it's going to be what V2 of the trade store. I have a call tonight to get that squared away. But you're going to be able to remove traits. So you're going to need plutonium X to remove your traits. You're also going to need plutonium X to add traits. You need plutonium X to go buy time machines to go on adventures. You need plutonium to enter the raffles that we do. Again, plutonium X is your ticket to everything. You can't go on an adventure unless you have plutonium X to buy a time machine. So that's where the token comes into play. I've also been tossing it around with the staff and a few others if things go well. Our roadmap originally included a dual token system with liquidity that you could only be gained through adventures. So I'm really keeping an eye on the market and how things are doing. But there very well could be potentially a second token that you obtain only through adventures. So you wouldn't obtain it through staking. It only comes through a percent chance at adventure. It would be used to purchase. My idea is to have it used for like special traits, special adventures, things like that. And so that's kind of the idea. That's always been the original idea, was to have that dual tokenomics and gatekeep it. So and also have so much utility behind it. You're not selling it; you're just putting it right back into our staking. And so there's a lot on the roadmap for plutonium, and maybe its counterpart in the future.
Yeah, see, I saw Back to the Future 1 and 2 for the first time last year in school. So, you know,
They
forgot
show
all
that
about
in
it.
school. I'm actually
They
pretty impressed.
they did because it was like a little movie day, and they have to show something appropriate. So, like PG.
They're certainly good
So
movies.
they are. They are. The first one was really good. Um, but how has TTCC collabed with other projects so far?
Oh God, that's where I feel like we've been slowly succeeding more and more.
I agree.
So our very first collaboration was with Drunken Ape actually. So we had a I'll never forget it. We had their rum bottle. So we had a rum bottle trait design. Those traits allow you to claim glug that's being supplied by Drunken Ape. They're working to allow glug to be purchased, allow you to purchase their products with it. So anyone under the age of 21, it's not really a trait they may be interested in, but if you are 21 and something that you're interested in, you'll have that option with the glug eventually. And then after that, we partnered with SAC to do their seals. So we have actually time traveling seals. We have their Astro helmets, and we have oh God, what's the other trait from them? Oh, we also have their knack fire fur, their knack bong. So a few different traits within the SAC ecosystem. So they were our second collab, and then we partnered with Shredded Ape Gym Club. They have new ownership now, so we're finalizing the deal to kind of change how everything was originally written with the previous founders. But Shredded Ape, you'll earn way. They've got their token fixed, so we're finalizing that now. But yeah, there's a lot of projects that we partnered with. I'm working on. I don't want to give too much alpha. I'm working with 3 other projects. So I know I've been teasing the one that we just did, which was Utes. We actually we partnered with the Heat Club and the Fast Club, so the 2 Ute sub DAOs. We were able to do their helmet and their jacket for the Fast Club, and then we did their Heat Wave glasses with the Heat Club. And so they were phenomenal to work with. They were very particular on their art and making sure things were right. So it did take a little bit more time than some of the other projects, but the fact that they paid so much attention to detail means that our community got an even better product, a better quality product at the end of the day. And that's what, I was excited for the most is they were so focused on making sure that it was right for them and for us, that they spent the extra time reviewing and voting on the art that we sent over. So it was fun, but I do have 3 other projects lined up, that some of them up there as well, pretty big projects. So again, keep an eye out. There'll be some other fun stuff coming as far as collaborations.
Can you give me the first letter of one of the projects?
C.
C?
C as in Charlie.
Okay. It should have been C as in Carter, but it's okay. Also, I never got to get my jelly trait, and I was so sad. I missed them, but it's okay. I'll just buy one off a secondary.
I believe I have some. I believe I have some in my wallet. So if you hit me up after this, we can see which jelly trait you like. I believe I have the jersey, the prison jacket, the dino helmet, and one other. I don't have the gas mask. Everyone sold those. Or bought those.
Also, people are saying Klano. I don't know if you'll deny that or.
I cannot confirm or deny any guesses that you make.
But just want to say that's what people are saying. That would be a sick one if I could have Klanos in the back.
It would.
So.
You never know what I'm cooking up, guys. I'm telling you.
So how has the team and you obviously been bringing in revenue? Why does that play? Okay, sorry. But how has the team been finding ways to bring in revenue for the project?
Well, that's actually something we struggled with for the longest time. We're one of our biggest suppliers of revenue when we first got started was Flexibility. Flexibility went through quite a few iterations of price points, but Flexibility is what allowed us to actually to pay for like the adventure platform, to pay for a lot of the stuff that we were trying to do. And so we had a holder, Stealth Gecko, at the time when we first started. He reached out to us and said, hey, we were actually going to buy a raid bot. And he goes, don't spend the money. I'd rather you save the Dallas funds. I'll build it for you. And he did. And it literally is what started our growth within this ecosystem, as we built a tool that was needed by so many. And I'll tell you guys now, Flux is ever growing. We're testing the verification. So Flux is now got verification. It's being tested in the Seal style server. It also is in the process of getting staking added. So imagine in Discord staking. That's our next process. It's already in the works, and it'll probably be done in the next couple of weeks. There are a few other things like OTC trades that we're looking into for Flux, being able to verify collections and allow you to trade through Discord without having to go to FFF. Because for us, a lot of people, like as holders, like FFF is a great swap site, but if you're under 10K volume, they don't let you do it like at all. So like we struggled. We're listed on there at under 10K because I'm persistent and kept bugging Drax. And Drax finally got us listed on there. Yeah, Drax, he's the developer, one of the developers over there at Famous Fox. So he's a good guy. He's good people. It took me months. Like when I say months, I'm talking like 8 months. Like, but he told me, he's like, I appreciate your persistence, and I'm like, I'm sorry for being annoying. I'm going to keep bothering you though. And so he said that's okay. And so we eventually got TTC added under 10K. But some projects don't get that. Like they don't have the time, they don't have the energy. So that's where I think this would be something that would be beneficial. It allows them, if they have flexibility, will verify their project, and allows them to trade with any other verified project. But I think that'll be a huge benefit for people when it comes down to it. We may even just verify all projects like Monet does for their raffle system as well. So again, not something that's 100% started or figured out, but it's in the process as well. Let's see. but anyways, our biggest revenue started with slugs, and that's what allowed us. But now we make revenue through the adventure platform. So we charge a point. It ranges. Sometimes it's 0.01, sometimes it's 0.025, sometimes it's 0.05. It just depends on the value of what we're putting into the adventure. And so, for example, this last adventure, that what it brought in, some of it's being split with Utes for the collab, but it brought in almost $2,500 just from one day's adventure. And so everything that we've been doing, we put right back into the project, and like that's why you see some of these large raffles. Like we have we put up an Oogie Pod for Plutonium X only. You're going to see a one of one for Drunken Ape go up for Plutonium X. You'll eventually see a Stoned Ape go up for Plutonium X. So we're taking and giving back to the community through raffles with a lot of that. Which is really, I think, beneficial. Like same thing. Not only do we take soul in for the communities, but we also give out soul in the adventure. Just to give you an idea, this last adventure we gave out 12 souls. So that also, you minus that from what we made, like people are still making soul going on the adventures. And so it's a process for us when it comes down to it. We also have a few other tools. We're going to start white labeling the adventure platform. There's some other alpha in there that we may be creating 4 or 5 more tools that are offered through TTCC, and we'll offer a white label service at a monthly cost. So again, there's a lot that we're really focused on, and I keep telling people my goal is to be the Xen, a type of utility service, so where they offer so much that it's a one-stop shop. And that's really the goal for us in TTCC is we want to touch things like Xen hasn't touched a trait store. They haven't touched adventure, but they have their staking. They have their NFT suite. They have all of that stuff, which is helpful for other projects. But for us, being able to offer utility is a huge one. So while all those things benefit project holders, our focus is how do you allow a community to benefit from the utility? So the adventure platform, like I said, one adventure brought in $2,500, but we're only going to charge $150, $200 a month for this adventure platform. And so what that means is you're going to make that back in a month, no problem, using the adventure platform. It's not a question. So that's really where we'll start to see revenue kind of flow in more. And when we do, there'll be kind of like kickbacks to the community. So, and that's one of the other things, like we used to do that with Flux, but Flux no longer became our main priority. Not priority, I'd say like our main revenue stream. And it just wasn't enough to sustain the entire collection as far as doing kickbacks. And so now our focus is to start getting that revenue in to where you're utilizing our claim tool and you're able to claim a kickback if you've held for X long or staked for X long. So again, there's a lot coming as far as bringing in revenue and pushing out revenue back to the community.
See, I could see like Chimps being like the project beside, like right beside Famous Foxes, because like they do utility as well. I feel like you guys could do like a hand in hand, like to the top. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
that's really the goal. Is to have so much utility. And it's the thing, like, so for us, it cost us over $15,000 for our adventure platform. So everything that you see and utilize, it costs us a little over $15,000. And what that comes down to when I look at numbers is any other project trying to get into this, like they're looking at spending a similar amount. Like if you're trying to purchase a utility and own that utility and not rent it and be reliant on those developers to fix it and run everything and set everything up, like ours comes with a dashboard. Our developer is on top of things. Everything's resolved same day. It's insane, like what we're able to do, and we're putting a lot of the things to fix it back in the project holder's hands. So same with the adventure platform that we're building and white labeling. You'll have the ability to fix a lot of your own stuff right within the dashboard, which is great because then you're not relying on downtime or someone else to fix it, or paying, additional for them to do work, and things like that. And so for us, you figure $200 a month, that's $2,400 for a year. And so a project can come out of the gate with $200 and offer such an amazing utility to their project in no time, in less than a week. We can have it live. And so for $200 a month, you're setting your project up for more success. And it's the same thing with Flux. That's $35 a month right now. And so just imagine being able to stop at one place and say, hey, I want an adventure platform. I want a trait shop. I want to have X done, and things like that. Everything that we're building is a way for a project to offer utility right out of the gate, with the minimum out-of-pocket cost. And I think that's the best way to phrase it is we're bringing utility to be a more cost-effective solution. Exen is great. Like, I'll give them 1,000. Like, we've worked with them; they're phenomenal. A little slow in their response times as far as getting things fixed, but as far as the quality of their tools, it's top notch. But with that quality, they also have that premium price, and it's, for us, not like we had to scrape when we were first minting, like we had to scrape by, like, in order to afford it. And so now we can afford those type of things without any issues and everything else. And that's why we built our staking platform. We like our own, like I now have a dashboard for it to where I can control it and I can manage it, and everything along those lines. So when we do something, it's always, I don't want to rely on another developer to handle it for us, because then that just slows everything down. And so, again, we'll just keep going and going as far as what we have to offer in utility. I don't want to give too much off of, but there's like 3 or 4 more things that we're going to be dropping probably over the next month and a half. So, I have to say, be ready. Like, be ready for what's
DMs are
coming.
always open. But no, I mean, you're dropping good stuff. Like, you speak of it very highly, and I can tell that you care about the project, and that's really what matters. As a founder, you want to see it succeed, and I can tell you're not just here for the money. Also, it shows that you're kind of like not selfish. If you're talking about letting other projects use this adventure platform for like a fraction of the cost, when you could just be sitting back and just say, you know what, they can just go pay $15,000 for our, like what we did. But it shows that you're, a good person. You kind of really care about what other projects do, and I love it. So what is like the end goal with? Well, you kind of explained that last time. Never mind that project,
Yeah.
or that not project. That question's off the board. So what's been like the hardest challenge, I guess, of building TTCC?
Getting noticed. If I'm being honest with you, that I think has been the hardest aspect for me, because one of the things I've done is I took advice from Carlos, and I just put my head down and started building. But I failed to listen to the smallest piece of advice he gave me, and that is to be more active on Twitter, to be getting in spaces, to making sure people really knew what our project was about. And so that's actually an area I'm still working on as we speak, is just getting myself out there more. You probably have seen me commenting on people's stuff throughout Twitter. Just commenting has allowed me to make connections, has opened up DM conversations. Like Jakey Soul. Like, I remember I messaged him over a year ago to run a promotion for us when we were minting, and I went, and he just popped back into my DMs, and like he just started chatting with me, and then next thing you know, he's asking me like you, saying, "Hey, I want to do a call with you, and I want to learn more. Like, I want you to go in depth with me about TTCC." And so for me, I think once I'm able to bridge that gap of getting TTCC noticed on a larger scale, it's no time before we're up there. We're sitting up there with Mad Labs, with Famous Fox, with Klano, with all of those big names right now, Jelly Esports. Like, it's only a matter of time. I just need to fine tune where I put some of my energy in the crypto Twitter world. And that's really what my main focus has been like lately. But that honestly has been the hardest part of this project. Is I think if more people knew what we were doing and saw the adventure platform, they saw the the amount of time and energy that we put into this project, and it's all for the holders. Like these traits, they're for the holders. Like we do polls, we take advice, like we listen to our holders. We try and make it fun. Like right now, we have mystery boxes in the adventure. If you get 3 of them, you can get a custom one of one made. So it's really cool. Just the fact that we want to put stuff out there for the holders. And I think as more people realize that this is a project for the holders, the more will grow, the faster we'll grow as well. But yeah, the hardest part is been getting that recognition. The bigger helps have been like Stack, infiltrating Stack a bit. That's actually, to be honest, one of the big guys in Utes is a Stack whale. And as soon as I was able to get into the Stack whale chat, I got noticed a bit more. And they started having conversations with me. So I've been trying to focus on branching into some of these larger communities as well, in order to say, hey, like, let's just talk. Like, we don't even have to talk about my project. Like, let's just get to know one another. And in doing so, it opens up that discussion of, well, what do you do? What's your project about? Well, what are you doing? How are you handling that sub-DAO, or how are you handling things? Like, so again, I'm working on what's been our struggle. But I can honestly admit that the hardest part for us of running a project is getting our name out there.
Yeah. Balance is hard in this space. I've learned that, I feel like everyone has, but me personally, I've, been trying to make content, but then I also want to keep my Twitter name out there, or my name out there on Twitter, or my name out there on like other platforms, and it's just hard to, balance it. Also, that's what I'm switching. Like I have ADD, I've been told, but it's okay.
So do I. So we're good. That's why I'm so successful in what I do, I swear. It's because my brain jumps from one thought to the next, and it can fully encompass all of them at once.
I just keep going. Like there's no stop, and I just have so many ideas, and I don't know what to do. Like I can't crack down on just one of them. But you were talking about, getting your name out there, and that's what I want to do with this podcast. I bring people / projects on to get their name out there, and because I believe in them. And that's also why I left a little space at the top. So if people do want to sponsor this podcast, I can just throw them up there. If they want a little more recognition or a little more, eyes on their project, I'll just throw them up at the top of this graphic, and they'll just be there, like for however many episodes they want. And obviously,
I'll sponsor your next one.
Ayo.
Yeah, hit me up with whatever your next one is. I'll sponsor it. We'll do something for the community.
It should be Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have had people ask, and I've told them a price, but like I don't know, because I feel bad having people pay, but I also I don't know. It's just
that's
weird.
What it's about. You don't buy a billboard and then say, hey, you can have it for free.
Exactly.
Like you have to. What's your value? Like that's for us and like TTC, and that's the way I look at it. What's our value? Our value is what we put out. And like, go on.
I was just gonna say, because I've asked other people like what they think about having people sponsor it, and I've had people like that have had sponsors, and I've asked them like how much they've paid or they've made them pay. I don't know. It's just like weird how I kind of feel bad, because I hate taking people's money. Not quote unquote taking people's money, but I don't know, just having people pay for things that I don't know. But
that. The team will tell you I have a problem. I have a problem with that as well. And same like with the hoodies. Like they're like, no, they should pay shipping. No, they're not. Like we're well enough that we don't have to worry about shipping. Like why put that stress on the holder when they've won something? Like no. But I'm bad like that. But when the shop came, like I was like, just like a store, yeah, they can pay for it. But I think what it comes down to, and it's the same thing that's in the whole. I believe Hellboy was talking about it the other day on Twitter. It's the way the Solana ecosystem is. It honestly, people look at their project and think that's their worth, and so it's tough, because you sit there and like, man, I'm doing so much, but we're only worth about $50, $60 in NFT. While there's others out there that don't put out content for months that are worth, $60,000. And it's like, how do you balance that? How do you look at that and say, well, damn, do I just, pardon my language, like, do you just stop? Like, do you just do what they're doing and see if like it? But in my world, like our project would tank. Like if we stopped like putting out and doing, like why would you continue to hold, I guess is what it comes down to, because there's nothing else behind it other than the utility that comes from the project. And so for me, value yourself based off of what you see, like again, do your market research like you're doing. That's for me, like when I hear that, like that's what makes you smart. And that's one of the reasons like I enjoy having these conversations and getting on some like and just talking with you in general. Like I've heard you in other spaces, I've heard you speak up, or you've been in our Discord and voice chat. Like you're 14, but you have such a good head on your shoulders that you're focusing on the right things. And the fact that you can come into this podcast and say, hey, I sat down and I asked X and Y, like that to me, you're doing market research. That's really what like this whole thing is. You put out the information, you gather that information, you use that to form a conclusion. And so like keep doing that, keep doing that market research, and I think it'll pay off even more, because it's going to allow you to, one, set the value for yourself, and two, set the value as you grow. It's no different than starting your own business. When it comes down to it, you put value behind your product. In this case, your product, your product, what you're doing in this space. And I can assure you, you've got a lot of eyes on you. Like I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen some big names, like again, call you out. Like you've got eyes on you. And so I just have to say, keep doing what you're doing. And I think you'll be very successful. Don't let, what others say discourage you. Just keep putting out there what you want to put out, and it'll end up getting out there. Trust me, I can assure you that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, yeah, I've seen it in the past couple months, really. People have started, talking about me, and good and bad. They've told me that, some people will tell me that I'm gonna like not rule the world one day, but I'm gonna be at like the top of Web3 one day. But then there's also those people that are always telling me, oh yeah, you'll never be anything in this space. Like, why, you're just wasting your time. But those are the people that really drive me every day. Those are the people that make me want to wake up every day and keep going, because I feel like I have to not prove them wrong, because truly their words don't really matter in my life, but it makes me just want to prove them wrong and really show them that, you're wrong. And, I'm going to be something huge one day.
You will, and I don't doubt that. I really don't. The fact that you can sit here and put this together and have this type of head on your shoulders at 14, you don't even know what I was doing at 14. And so it's cool to hear that you sit down, you focus your time and put in an effort. And so again, just keep it up. That's all. That's my advice. Like you said, you're gonna have your haters. You're gonna have people that get upset, but at the end of the day, just keep pushing forward.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. They wish they were in my spot when they were 14, or they were just playing with Legos when they were 14, or they were getting their parents in debt. But then there's me. It's kind of funny. But I have like one more question, and if you want to, give like a
Oh yeah,
conclusion or something.
sure.
What, when you were taking over this project, with I can't think of their names right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like blanking.
Dio.
Dio, yeah, sorry. When you were coming on the team, or helping derug this pretty much, what made you think that TTC was gonna be something like be something successful, I guess? Like, what made you think that you guys were gonna be successful and be, your name was gonna be out there one day, or just, I don't know, like, it wasn't just gonna tank?
So I think this is a great question. To be 100% honest with you, when we first started, uh, I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, but I knew there would be success because of the team that we had built. It was extremely rocky. Like I'm not even going to lie. Like when we first started this, there was so many things that went wrong. Like you could ask Dio, you can ask Huddle events, like and you can even ask Trig even recently. Like there have been so many things that have gone wrong that you guys don't even know about that happens on the back end. And then we're just sitting there beating our heads up against the wall and we're always looking for a solution. And it's every single time we've been able to figure it out. And so what really finally gave me the confidence that TTCC was going to be something was the team that I built, to be 100% honest with you. Like the fact that I can rely on my team 110%, like that to me tells me that we can succeed through no matter what the market is, bear market, bull market. Like you put this team together and they show up every day and they give it 110%. They go above and beyond to make sure that everything is done, whether it's tweets being rated, whether it's games being ran, whether it's starting conversation, whatever the case may be. The team shows up and they come with ideas that can make and break things. Like I'll tell you right now, one of the things we're working on is an idea from one of our holders. And so when it comes down to it, it's for me is with the team that we have, we can always push forward and strive. So that's when I realized that TTCC could be something. It could be something huge, is because we had a team of doers. Not I, we'll get this done, but it's a team of people that actually get it done, and they work diligently too. Uh, so for me, the success that our project is going to continue is based on our team. And again, I call our team like a family because we can have a straight up argument, like, and it's happened. Same thing with our developers. We have two of them. They'll go toe to toe with one another, but within that space, it's for us. I see it as a safe space because we know no matter what, at the end of the day, the team is making the project better. They're speaking up because someone else may say this, someone else may bring this to the community's attention, and the fact that they can open up and be so blunt, like it for me, it just tells me that there's nothing that can stop us. If we can make it through like all the stuff that we've gone through, like there's no reason we can't continue to succeed. And we do it in a way that like I said, that benefits the holders. And so I think as more people, and so I'll give you an example, like just give you a small example of one of the things that keeps telling me that we're gonna be successful. We had recently, like I said, I've been in SAC a lot, and so I'm really active over in the SAC community, and to the point to where I started getting a lot of questions about what we do. People may have seen it. Sneak Love, if you're here, if you're in the Discord, if you hear this, you're awesome, dude. But he's been asking me a lot of questions, and then he saw what we're doing, and he's like, all right, I want to get a couple of chimps. So he traded a sack for some chimps, and then he went on adventures, and he saw what we were doing, and he straight up said we're blowing it out of the water. And so the fact that all it takes is for someone to see what we're doing and they'll understand. They'll see the goal behind everything. And I think that's what it comes down to. Like I said, our success is based on our team, and this team is going to get us out there. It's going to help spread the word. We're soon going to blow up, especially I think when we launch some of these other utilities, because a lot of it's projects talk about, oh, we're going to release this or we're going to release that. Like we're in the process, everything's being built. Like I'm just watching pieces of this puzzle start come together more and more. So I can assure everyone, we're just like Carlos said, he's going to be 100 soul. They hit it. Like we're going to be up there. We're going to climb up there. We're going to hit those ranks. Just it does take a little bit of time, but as soon, like I said, over the next month and a half, you're going to see so much dropping from TTCC, like it's unbelievable. And there may even be more stuff dropping. I have alpha and information, but I can't give it because of that thing. I'm just going to say this because I think every TTCC holder in here will appreciate this. There's that thing that I'm working on, that really big thing, that'll eventually take place. And once it does, if it does, I should say if, because it's like negotiating. It's back and forth. I'm still in negotiations with them, but uh, it's in a positive light. I got a message last night, and it was that thing is a very positive thing, um, and I got positive, like not a full confirmation, but a positive reply that leads me to think that the thing will happen very soon. You'll see in the chat. Everyone knows that I've been talking about this thing. But yeah, again, so success for us is ongoing, and the mass success is around the corner.
I love that you're like manifesting it, you know. Um, but yeah, that was like my last question. If you want to, give a final statement, little thing,
Yeah,
leave them
yeah.
off, and then I'll say
One,
my little thing.
well, first off, thank you, Carter, for having me. I appreciate it. For those in the TTCC community, thank you for showing up and always having our backs. Uh, Everyone that's here, you guys, I've seen the chat going crazy. I just want to say thank you. But just like I've been saying, TTCC is on the way up. I don't ever stop. I want you guys to rest assured. If you join TTCC, you're joining a community, you're joining a family. And again, the fact that I can jump in Discord and have conversations and get to know these people on an everyday basis is one of my favorite things. And so I see we're going to be here in 5 years. Like again, I tell people I cannot. The fact that I've watched probably 10 to 15, if not more, projects that I've been associated with as TTCC has grown just fall off the radar, like just completely fall off the radar, like and like get rugged and everything else. I'm here for the long haul. I can assure you that. I'm not a quick money grab. I'm not. None of us are. Like I said, our goal is value back to you guys. Um, and we'll keep pushing that value. So again, rest assured, if you're a part of TTCC, you're in good hands. If you're not in TTCC, you might as well join us because you're going to be in early, and you'll really get to see that moon. Some people have already seen it by trusting me. When we were 0.09, it's kind of like that Carlos situation. You may have faded jelly babies when they were 0.01, 0.02, and if you didn't get a bag then, and you got a bag at 4 or 5 soul, like you were still early because you're still 10x right now. And so again, just keep that in mind. Like they're saying in chat, we're making moves to fill your bags and make you a profit, because that's really what this comes down to is the holders. And so on that note, I appreciate each and every one of you. That I always throw that out there, that DJ Khaled gif. I appreciate you, and always will. So I appreciate that.
Yo, I appreciate you for coming on. You're the first guest back. I'm excited. Also, I have an idea how to give out like the chimp and stuff.
Yeah. You can do that. You
Do
can do
you
that.
do you want to do it for the live, or do you want to do it for the YouTube, like whichever one?
Whichever way you want. It's yours
I
to
I
give
have
away in
I
whichever
have
form or
an
fashion.
idea for the YouTube, just like not pump the numbers, but like
Yeah, get your name out there. I like that. Trust me, if you drop a YouTube link, I will put it in our raid box. I will throw 2 soul behind it to have that tweet rated with the YouTube video, and we'll give away a chimp. And you can even I'll throw out a soul. So a chimp, 1 soul,
and then I have
and
like 300 plutonium X. There we go.
yeah, plutonium X. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Give me
yeah,
one
we'll
second.
throw out. We'll make it big. Again, the fact that everyone's like the live, the live. No, I like the YouTube. I like the YouTube. I see the logic. He's thinking smart. He's using his
Yeah,
business
I
brain, and
basically just
that's
scammed you guys. So GG's, thanks for hanging out. But I appreciate you coming on. I'm happy to be
oh no, I
back.
appreciate you.
We're
Keep it up. I'll be
5.
visiting all of these.
Let's go. We're 5 followers away from 200 on Twitch now. So if you're watching on YouTube, go follow my Twitch. Um, I'm already subbed. No, okay. I appreciate that.
Every TTC better be sub to this guy. I'm telling you right
Hey,
now.
if you're on YouTube as well, we're at 111 subs right now. So make sure drop a sub. We're gonna be at 1K by the end of the year.
I think I have like 5 YouTube or 5 Google accounts. I'll get you on each one of them.
Thanks, bro. But nah, you know what? Let's shoot for. We're gonna be at 500 by end of July. It's like 2 months. Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe
You
it.
got to
I believe
manifest it.
it.
You got to manifest it. But
Yeah,
I
you got to
appreciate
manifest it.
everyone hanging out. This was the Bear Market Builders, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully Thursday. I think I have someone wanting to come on Thursday, so I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next